We always need some good music on a Friday afternoon. This is going to be fun. We've got Gavin James in the studio. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, man.
You only went about halfway around the world.
I know, I've never been to Kansas before, so I'm delighted to check it out. It's cool.
Now, technically, you're in Missouri.
Yeah. Kansas City. Oh, God.
This is Kansas City, Missouri, but we're just a hop and a skip and a jump. Now, this is like nobody's paying attention. If you're on the radio, ignore that you're hearing this.
Just like I'm just an Irishman that's never been anywhere.
Yeah.
Like
well,
so.
you know, we're a town that's got like two cities. We're Kansas City, Missouri. There's Kansas City, Kansas, and then there are all the suburbs around. We were talking earlier. You come from a part of Dublin where all of the streets have Viking names.
Yeah, I grew up on Viking roads, randomly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a Viking. I think I'm a Viking. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know, you got to be born drunk or something to be a Viking.
So the only thing you need to do is like get this all straightened out before you go on mic tonight at the Tank Room. Okay. Because if you say, "Hello, Kansas," you'll get a reaction you don't want.
I did that before. I did it not in Kansas, though, because I haven't been here before. But because we're not even there. We're not there, are we? So I did it in. I was in Atlanta, and Atlanta has loads of A's, and Alabama has loads of A's, and I was very not with it, and I totally said Alabama very quickly, and it didn't go down at all. Didn't go down well at all. It took me a good while to get the crowd back.
Yeah. Well, we're really, really happy to have you here. Absolutely, as pleased as we can be. You did sort of an unusual thing. You sort of kicked off the career with a live record, live at Whelan's.
It's a weird one. Usually kind of like, you don't do that. So I kind of, we thought of the idea. It was like, we've been doing live gigs for the past 3 or 4 years, and that's where we gathered our audience in Ireland and some parts of Europe and stuff. And I thought it was the best idea just to kind of get the word of mouth going. And it ended up over here somehow. And then somebody from Capitol Records got it, and then we signed over here, and then I'm over here now.
Yeah. You've had an EP since, and there's a new single out called Bitter Pill. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that you'll have some music available at the merch table tonight.
Yeah,
over
I got
loads.
I got T-shirts as well. I never knew I'd have T-shirts. My head's massive. I didn't think it would fit on a T-shirt. I always wanted a funny one as well. It's real serious as well. Like, I wanted like one, you can't see it on the radio, but like thumbs up and like weird face.
Yeah.
You know,
so when you saw your first tour T-shirt, was that a moment for you?
Yeah, it was cool. I took a picture and sent it to me dad. He wants a T-shirt. So like he's dying for me to bring one home.
Your dad was really kind of like, it was totally instrumental to you falling in love with music and sort of discovering your voice in a way.
Massively, yeah. He everything I ever did with music, I started playing tin whistle when I was like 9, which is like super folky, and it was. My dad was like, he didn't even mind the noise and stuff. I ended up actually doing it for like 2 years or something like that, and he was super supportive. And then I started playing like Metallica on it. And he was like, "You shouldn't really be playing that on a tin whistle." So like, I'm going to get you a guitar. So I got like a guitar, started to learn it. And my mum and dad have been really supportive through everything.
Now, I have read that, when I was courting my wife, it was like I would burn her CDs. And of course, mixtapes. It's like a famous thing.
I used to do that in school.
But your dad made you mixtapes, or at least gave you music to listen to.
He had like some guys in work that would just burn off these tapes. Like do the tape things, mixtapes. Yeah. And he put like Van Halen on it, and then some Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton and Cat Stevens on the same thing. And I listened to it and be like, "Oh, this is unbelievable." And I tried learning like all the Van Halen stuff, and I would just suck so bad at it. And it was cool that he used to always bring me home tapes and stuff. It was great.
The tape that really turned your head though had Sam Cooke on it.
Oh yeah, I love that. Bit of I was born by the river. Yeah, I love Sam Cooke a lot.
You first started trying to write songs when you were 8. How did that go?
It was about crayons, really. Wasn't a lot of stuff you can think of when you're 8, really. So I stopped for a while.
Tried it again at 12.
Tried it again at 12, and then it just still crayons, and then not really crayons. So I started writing songs like that, and they didn't really mean anything. They're just kind of like really weird songs about just random stuff. And then stuff happened, and then I started writing songs.
But it was sort of that early indication in a way that that's where you were going to land.
Yeah. So it's great. I kind of fell into it really, and then I did loads of cover gigs in town in Dublin, and we did it for 7 nights a week for about 4 years. Started throwing my own songs in, and people started coming in, and started to do that.
So we've covered Gavin James the early years. We've got you now at 8 years old, but we'd love to hear what you're doing today.
This song's about crown. It's called Bitter Pill. You came down to the room, and I could see it written all over you. You said you already know, but I said sorry, but I gotta go. And I ripped these walls apart, and I went and shot an arrow right through your heart. But how those times have changed, 'cause now you don't remember my name. Well, I'm sorry that I'm here so late, and please don't turn my heart away. For your love I can't change, 'cause without you I'm so hollow. I'm sorry that I let you go. It's only when it's lost, you know. Seeing you, missing you, such a bitter pill to swallow. And I guess I played my cards too late, 'cause now my body can't take the weight. And once we flew so high, oh, but now I'm afraid to fly. Oh, I'm sorry that I'm here so late, and please don't turn my heart away. For your love I can't change, 'cause without you I'm so hollow. I'm sorry that I let you go. It's only when it's lost, you know. Seeing you, missing you, such a bitter pill to swallow. And I'm sorry that I'm here so late, and please don't turn my heart away. For your love I can't change, 'cause without you I'm so hollow. I'm sorry that I let you go. It's only when it's lost, you know. Seeing you, missing you, such a bitter pill to swallow. Oh, seeing you, missing you, such a bitter pill to swallow. And
This is quite lovely.
Thanks, buddy.
Gavin James joining us live today on the bridge. He's going to be at the Tank Room tonight. You know, you're such a jovial guy, and then you go right straight to the heartbreak, man.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy dude. I think this yeah. All the songs are pretty much all the sad bits, and then I get that all out, and then happy.
You know, touring, you know, gives you, excuse me, you know, lots of fodder for heartbreak. I mean, it's hard to have a good relationship when you're on the road.
Oh, it's really hard, yeah. It's I kind of just stopped really for the moment, because I've been haven't really been home at all for the past couple of months. So it's a tough one to kind of keep it going back home.
You know, the song that you got you a lot of attention at the very beginning was The Book of Love.
Yeah.
And you know, the only thing it's such an amazing song. The one thing that I think is kind of a drag about it is that, you know, you're such a good songwriter and you led with somebody else's song.
I know, it's so weird. Like, we did that was never even meant to be a song or like a cover or anything. And then we did that Whelan's show for like the Live at Whelan's album. And everybody had left. I'd done my encore, did everything. Everything was finished. The whole gig was done. The music came on outside, and I was like, I might try this song. And I ran back on. I had to get everybody to come back in. I was like, everybody get back in, get back in, get back in. And I did the Book of Love. And I definitely messed up one or two words in it. And it was just one of the songs that I did before gigs to warm up and stuff. It had so many lows and so many highs, and I love that song.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's a great song.
It's an amazing song. And then it just randomly, just out of the record, just somebody picked it up in Holland. And we got played on radio there, and we started touring over there, and it's kind of spreading through.
You know, I think one of the reasons that it didn't kind of take off is that the original version by the Magnetic Fields is something like 1.5 minutes long. I mean, it's like so short.
Yeah, it's super short.
Yeah, Peter Gabriel covered it, but you're the one that got some attention for it.
It's very strange. Yeah, I had no idea what to expect when that kind of happened. Because it was a live version. We went in after it got played on the radio once or twice. Like, we should probably record a proper version of it. And we did. And then they were like, nah, the live version. One with the claps. And it's just weird because the live record rarely ever gets on radio. So
yeah, you know, the irony too of it is that, you know, you'd played pubs for a long time, and part of the joy of leaving that pub world was that you could focus on your own material.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So 7 days a week playing in pubs.
It was mad. Yeah, it was a really good way to kind of figure out the little bits of performing and stuff, because I used to not say anything at a gig. I used to just kind of play the songs and just stop, play the song and just stop, play the song and just stop. And I used to not know how to control my voice or anything. So I did 7 nights. On Fridays we did 2 o'clock till 4, 6 o'clock till 8, and 10 o'clock till 1. So it's like all these crazy hours for gigs. I don't know how I can even talk anymore. Never mind sing. But
well, you changed your singing style
totally, yeah.
Because you couldn't sing the way you had been singing and still perform that much.
Yeah, it was weird. I think the more I did it was kind of the easier it got, because it's kind of like going to the gym, really, innit? If I knew what that was. But it's kind of like that. The more you use it, the kind of stronger the muscle gets.
Well, you know, a lot of people have looked at the Beatles' early career and said that they couldn't have been the Beatles if they hadn't done all those massive, super long shows in Germany.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're just earning your stripes in those gigs.
That's it, yeah. They're tough gigs.
You know, the thing that is it's such a funny thing. It's like you started out actually busking, which is, do people just busk all the time in Dublin? Because like in Kansas happens. City, you just don't see it that much.
I don't know why it's nowhere else really. Like, I always find it weird walking down like a big, like, it's usually on these little tiny streets that have shops, and there's like no cars or anything, so you just busk. Like on Grafton Street in Dublin you busk, and Temple Bar you busk. But it's just one of these things when you're younger. I used to skip school and just go straight from my house with like a little battery amp with 2 of my mates. And we just kind of set up in the middle of Grafton Street and like draw straws as to who would have to sing. So like it was it's definitely a good way to do it, unless some like junkie tends to rob your bag of money though.
Yeah, I may be missing something, but in Kansas City, about the only place I ever see it is at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
And some of those people are like wearing costumes, and I expect to see a chicken on a leash or something.
Yeah,
you know? It's like sometimes it's a little bit odd.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it's
we had
fun.
a chicken on a leash.
Really?
It got real weird, like. It was mad.
Anything to break through, right?
Oh, it's crazy. So because you catch people like that with the chicken on a leash, and then they're like, they're playing as well. You know, it's great.
So you go from busking. You played some weird gigs. You did like hotel lobbies.
Oh yeah, they were terrible. They were wallpaper gigs. I remember I did one gig before in front of. It was like a 3-hour gig. So in front of one guy, and the barman who actually kind of just left because nobody was getting any drinks, and this guy had his headphones on his laptop the whole time. This is the worst gig ever. I think I left like just my soul was just gone. Like, I'm ginger, so I don't have one anyway, but like my soul was just gone.
Yeah. So you're doing the busking thing, and then you're doing the pub thing, and one night, and I may be a little bit off on this, but Ed Sheeran comes by and starts like posting stuff about you, and that helped get you a label gig.
It was kind of weird. Like we met randomly. I was on a date in town in Dublin, and I haven't talked to the girl since really, because she was super annoyed at me because I went to the Ed Sheeran thing, and I went to the Doyle's pub, which is Ed Sheeran did a secret gig, and I was like, we gotta go to this pub because Ed Sheeran's there, and I gotta go, and we gotta jam, we gotta do it. I was like, obviously weren't going to jam, but went up and I met him and I was just talking to him and he was like, where's the guitar? And I was like, here. And we just jammed for like 6 hours, like until about 5 in the morning, something like that. And then that was it was the best day for me ever. But Sheeran, but like not for the girl. But she was super annoyed at me, like in the corner, like, you know, ditching me for Ed.
You know, one of the stories. So you start to get attention at that point. And one of the stories I absolutely love is that, you know, you go to one of these industry showcase things, and you know the entire audience is filled with people who can make you, and they're filled with people who can break you.
Yeah.
Right. And so sitting in the front row is Adele's manager.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, did you know that?
Oh, that was mad, yeah. I had no idea, no. I knew there was one other guy. I don't think he just looked super important. He was wearing a suit and he had, like, slick back hair and stuff. And I was like, he looks super important, but I think he was just working there in the hotel. So I was kind of playing to him, and then my manager told me Adele's manager was there.
Well, you know, you're at one of those industry things, and there's supposed to be this important gig. And you made like such an interesting choice. You tried to get the audience to sing along, which is sort of like,
it was funny.
All of those important people are so jaded.
Yeah.
You know,
I always try it though because it's just uncomfortable and it's very funny.
And you got them to do it.
Yeah, it's really it's like hugging like somebody that's not really up for hugging you. You know, that kind of thing. You get the awkward like hand in your chest when you try to hug somebody. It's like, oh, okay. But it's fun because it was like a luncheon, so like everybody was eating food and like they were trying to sing like, whoa, and then like food was falling out of their mouths and stuff. It was mad. It was fun though. It's fun to see like how awkward it gets.
Yeah. So you got your deal in Europe, then you came over and you got picked up by Capitol.
Yeah, that was crazy. One of the guys from Capitol just got the CD and gave it to Steve Barnett, and then he flew over and we signed the deal. Pretty much.
So after you signed to Capitol, I mean, I'm just such an old, you know, record geek. It's like you got to go up and sing on the roof of the Capitol building.
That was crazy. I was mad. Yeah, it was cool. I got to bring my mum and dad over for that. And like I told them at home when I was in Dublin, like I'm doing this gig on top of Capitol. And like they were like, they kind of scrubbed it off. They're like, oh, that's cool. It's kind of cool. Yeah. And like then they came over and they were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because like there was no like railings or anything. It's kind of scary up there.
Well, and architecturally, it's just so cool.
Amazing.
It looks like it's just a big stack of records.
Stack records. I thought like Mitchell and Mann's leg as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Yeah. It's like tires, but it's not. It's totally stack records. But it's it was weird. We did sound check during the day, and like Los Angeles is hot. Like I got super sunburned, but it was good. It was a mad thing to actually get to do. So strange we got to do that. It was amazing though. So
We'd love to hear another song if we could.
Sure. This is I'll do the Book of Love. Okay. Yeah, here we go. The book of love is long and boring. No one can lift the damn thing. It's full of charts and facts and figures and instructions for dancing. But and I love it when you read to me, and you can read me anything. The book of love has music in it. In fact, that's where music comes from. And some of it's just transcendental. Some of it's just really dumb. But and I love it when you sing to me, and you can sing me anything, yeah. You can sing me anything. long and boring and written very long ago. It's full of flowers in heart-shaped boxes and things we're all too young to know. But and I love it when you give me things, and you ought to give me wedding rings, and I love it when you give me things, and you ought to give me wedding rings. You ought to give me wedding rings. Yeah, you ought to give me wedding
That's Gavin James live today on the bridge, playing tonight at the Tank Room. That was lovely.
Thanks, buddy.
So you're a funny guy. I mean, you're really a good conversationalist and all that, but you're hiding something. I mean, you really are a hopeless romantic, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. All Irish people are, really, I think. You know, we love it. Love all the romance.
Yeah. Cool. You know, the songwriting thing, you wake up in the middle of the night and you got to get it down.
I'm mad. I stay up till I used to kind of just stay up until 5 o'clock in the morning and then see if anything would just pop into my head. Pretty much, I'd just sit down and watch TV and have the guitar. Man, and then ad would come on and I'd be like, and then some 2.5 Men would come on and I'd be like, watch that. And then the ad would come on again. I'd be like,
so is that songwriting or is that procrastinating?
I have no idea, because I've never actually sat down and been like, I'm going to try write a song, because it's never worked. I've always kind of just, something's come to me during the day. I've always have done that and written half songs. But it's a weird thing. It's like a muscle. If you don't use it all the time as well, it kind of just goes away.
You know, you got the Meteor Choice Song of the Year award for "Say Hello."
That was mad. Yeah, that was cool.
It's pretty good. It's like the Irish.
Yeah, it's the Mercury Prize kind of thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, the "Say Hello" EP stayed on the Irish charts for 6 months.
Very mad. Yeah, it got played all the time. I hated it by the end of it.
You know, the what is it, the Olympia?
The Olympia,
2,000 seat venue. You booked 3 dates, and 2 of them were sold out, and the third one's on the way.
Third one's on the way. The 2 of them are kind of nearly there. The first one, so you put one on Thursday, and everyone was like, yeah, let's go Thursday, and we put one on Friday, and everybody was like, we should probably go Friday.
Yeah.
And the third one, so we're going to do 3. It's going to be insane.
So you've done a live record, you've done an EP, you got a new single out, but you know, a lot of people are sort of okay, when's the studio album? I know you've been working on it, right?
Yeah, it's done. Everything's finished. It's coming out next week in Ireland, which is, I'm sorry.
So get it as an import, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's ways of getting it. But no, it'll be out in probably March over here.
And, you know, it's funny because it's like you're standing here today, a guy with a guitar, and it's like the singer-songwriter thing, but you've added a lot of production value.
We added lots of stuff, yeah. It's going to be, I'm going to have to get a band, I think. But we have added so much stuff to it. I used Fraser T. Smith produced it and Cam Blackwood produced it. And they were awesome. They just did such an amazing job on it. So, and I've always been kind of afraid of the studio, kind of going in, because I'm just live. I love playing live. I love doing gigs. And every time I go to the studio, I've never really been happy with the outcome. I've kind of been I've been digging it, I've been liking it, and then afterwards I'd be like, it's just really hard to find that kind of. That's another reason why we brought the live album out first, because it was just it's a lot easier to do, and it's literally just raw. It's totally raw. And but when we did this album, the second day in, I was like, this is great. That's so at home, so good.
You know, whenever I have a really hard hitting question, something that might really make somebody squirm,
I got one of them before.
I save it for the end, because it's all been happy talk up till now.
Oh man, I had one, but I can tell you the worst one I've ever had.
Sure.
Right, I had to I couldn't even deal with it. It was just too much. And the guy was doing the interview. It was really cool. He was like, it's gonna be just a little puff piece. It's gonna be really simple. It's gonna ask you about the tour, ask you all this. First question: what kind of man are you, Gavin? What kind of man are you? What is that? Who says what kind of man? That wasn't the question, was it?
No. I was going to go back in time to your Led Zeppelin cover band.
Cool.
And I was just going to ask you if you were Jimmy Page.
I was kind of both. I had like the massive ginger hair. It was like super curly. I looked like I had to tie it back for school, which was awful. I looked like a fish. So I had to. It was massive. I grew it too much, like, and it was like down to here. It was mad looking. So I looked like kind of Robert Plant, but I played the electric guitar, kind of all the weird kind of since I'm loving you. But I couldn't sing it. It's too high.
Yeah.
Robert Plant obviously is just.
So did you practice like guitar face?
I had a massive guitar face. I used to Free, All Right Now.
Yeah.
There's a video from him from Woodstock, I think, and the guitarist. I used to mess around like at all the gigs. Like I didn't have a stack amp or anything. I just had like a little tiny Marshall. So I used to kind of get down and be like this, like next to the Marshall, like just right back and just kind of. Yeah, it didn't look good, but it's funny, I suppose. Yeah, just kind of robbing all his moves.
Gavin James is our guest today, live on the bridge. You can find out more at gavinjamesmusic.com. He's playing tonight at the Tank Room. Not only music at the merch table, but also T-shirts, which is great. And we'd love to hear another song if we could.
Cool, man. This song's called 22, and it's I got a little intro to it. It's kind of about when I was in school, when I was in primary school, I had a little bit of a tough time with bullying when I was growing up. And I got lots of nieces and nephews that I kind of thought it's still kind of a thing in school, whereas it's worse now, I think, because you have like phones and stuff, go home and you get thing on that. But this is about that and me wanting to be older when I was younger, pretty much. And it's called 22. Could have been called 24 or 26, but it didn't rhyme, so. Cut me down into little pieces before I could stand up. So I built a wall out of all my secrets, and now it's opened up. And I remember the cold, cold mornings, and I remember the rainy afternoons when I was dreaming that I was 22. That I was 22. Ooh. I wish I was older when I was young, but half the world asleep. Till the morning came, it took me away. Now I'm lonely. Oh, I wish that I had found out faster. I never thought it was me thereafter, when I was dreaming that I was 22. I was 22. And and I remember the cold, cold mornings. I never thought it was me there warning when I was dreaming. And when I was dreaming. When I was dreaming that I was 22. I was 22. Ooh.
Gavin James today live on the bridge. You can find out more at gavinjamesmusic.com, playing tonight at the Tank Room. Gavin, that was lovely.
Thanks very much, man. Cheers.
It was really great to have you in today. I know it's a hard life driving all over the place, doing gigs, getting back in the car, driving,
It's great.
going to do another gig, and to take the time out in the afternoon to share more music with us here at the station.
Thanks for having me, and I'm delighted.
A blessing. Appreciate it very much. Gavin James live on the bridge.
Thanks, buddy.